So, today is the 12th of July, and on this day in Northern Ireland, a whole bunch of Protestants, the Orange Men, march through town, set up bonfires, cause all kinds of strife, and it adds to that enormous complexity that is the politics of Northern Ireland. I went to university in Northern Ireland. I had a fantastic time there. I had friends who were Protestant, friends who were Catholic, friends who were atheists, and others that I just didn't know. And that was all fine. However, I thought what I wanted to do today was have an Irish whiskey drink that would somehow mark that the Orange Men parade, while acknowledging that then it's not all a force for good, but that, as someone once told me, and I don't know if it's a quote from someone famous or not, anyone who claims to understand Irish politics hasn't been given all the facts. And while it still fascinates me, I can't claim to really know what's going on, but maybe sitting down and having a drink together may help us all understand. So let's, without any further ado, get on with this drink. It's an Irish whiskey drink, but because it's the Orange Parades and all this kind of crazy stuff, I'm going to have a whiskey from 7 miles or so down the road from where I went to university, Bushmills. I'm going to have the Red Bush there. You could use Redbreast if you wanted to be posh and fancy, but any Irish whiskey will do, I'm fairly sure. It's 1.5 ounces of that going straight into our mixing glass that's already conveniently filled with ice. And then we're going to go some dry vermouth, and it is 3/4 of an ounce of that. And then we want a 1/2 ounce of honey syrup, which is simply honey diluted 50-50 with warm water. 1/2 ounce of that. Sweeten things up a bit, don't you think? In it goes. And then we have a bar spoon of lemon juice, or lime juice as I'm using, but either of those would work fine. 1 bar spoon like so. And then bitters. We're going to have 1 dash of regular Angostura bitters, and then 2 dashes of course, it's going on about the Orange Men and their parade. Let's have some orange bitters in there. It's according to the recipe, I'm not making anything up here. I'll have 2 dashes of that. And this drink, it's interesting, the declaration is actually named after St. Patrick, who made a declaration about basically being a religious kind of guy in the, I don't know, 6th century or something like that. But let's be honest, he's not the only person to make declarations. There are declarations about the Good Friday Agreement. Everyone has a declaration about something, and hopefully my declaration here is going to be that this is a delicious drink. But we're going to find out once I've given it a little stir. And it's an interesting, it is actually a sort of orangey colour, because I guess, well, pink really, I think it's not really so orange. We'll give it a little stir there to make it nice and cold. Then we'll pour it into a chilled cocktail glass. It's an interesting colour. But it does in fact call for a twist of orange as well. So let's do that as well. And I'm doing this in a non-political way. It is the Orange Men's march is on the 12th of July and all that, but I have no sympathy for that, but you know, it's a cultural thing, that's okay. Let people do things as long as it doesn't hurt someone else, right? Cheers. That's great.